Hi, everyone, and good evening. All right, so can I get a thumbs up? Has everyone joined in? Can I get a hi, hello, or a thumbs up quickly in the chat box? All right, so we'll just wait for a couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, and then we should begin our today's session, which is on AI won't replace HR. So until the others join in, let's see how's everyone doing today. Hi, Nisha. Hi, Priyanka. Hi, Kavita. Good evening. All right, so should we all begin? Are we all excited for this session on AI and HR? Okay, so before I begin, I want to do a quick run through and an understanding of the room. So with that, I would want you all to raise your hands or just drop in a message if you've ever done this, wherein you've used Chat GPT or you've used an AI to write your assignments or used AI to prepare for interviews, or you're actually worried that AI is going to take your HR jobs. How many of you have felt this or done this? Quickly give me a hand raise or maybe just drop in a message that yes, you felt this or you've done or used AI. How many of you have used ChatGPT or used an AI to write an assignment, or you've used AI to prepare for an interview, or you're worried that AI is going to take your jobs? Okay, so I can see quite a few hand raises here. Indu, Kunal, Tanya, Manthan. Anyone else who would want to add to it? You've used ChatGPT or you're worried that AI is going to take your jobs? Well, so I think the fear is real, but again, the use of AI is also pretty real. So, in today's session, we'll also be separating certain myths that we have about AI with the reality that actually exists. So, let's begin, everyone. Now, the first myth that we've always heard is that AI is going to replace HR professionals. But the reality, let's understand the word human resource in itself has the word human in it, whereas artificial intelligence actually has the word artificial. So the reality here is not that AI is going to replace HR professionals, but AI is going to actually help to replace our repetitive tasks, but not us. So your AI can actually help you automate your screening resumes, scheduling interviews, or generally just generating reports. It cannot build the trust, resolve conflicts, or make ethical decisions, or actually connect with people the way we as HRs can do. So, AI replacing HR professionals is a very big myth. The reality is, it's just going to help us ease out our tasks. The second myth that we have is that HR professionals don't need to learn AI. Well, that's really wrong. We do need to learn AI. So I'll give you an example. A couple of years back, when we did not have HRMS as a tool, and irrespective of your team size, whether your organization had employees, maybe 50 or maybe you had a team size of 100, we used to maintain personal files, individual files for each employee in the organization. So that's a lot of paperwork and that's a lot of time taking activity. And it also actually takes up a lot of space in the office. But eventually, when the HRMS tool came up, we moved from maintaining personal physical files to actually maintaining all the documents on our HRMS tool. So, as HR professionals, it's very necessary that we actually learn AI. Now, let's understand that AI has actually become a core workplace skill. It is not something that we do not have to learn, it is something that we should be knowing. Just like Excel became essential for HR years ago, or understanding how to use AI effectively is becoming equally important for modern HR professionals. So, as we moved eventually from registered attendances to maybe running payroll on Excel, now we also have started running our payroll on our HRMS tools. If equally, AI has also become an important skill that every professional should know, whether in HR or whether in sales or in customer support. AI is actually becoming a more important work skill today. The third myth that we have is that AI always gives the correct answer. Maybe no. If you've ever seen ChatGPT or any other AI tool, it actually says to review your responses. AI is like your assistant, it is not the authority there. So it can generate drafts for you, it can summarize the information for you, it can suggest ideas for you. But we as HR professionals, we must validate the information as per our company policies and exercise human judgment before taking action. We might given a prompt to an AI tool to create some kind of a documentation or a policy. But does the AI tool understand the nitty-gritties of my organization? Does it understand how my people are? No. We as HR professionals know that. So while AI gives you the output as HR professionals, it becomes our responsibility that we fine-tune it as per our organizational needs. It is not the final decision maker, but just an assistant that will help you to make your tasks more simpler. Next, the next myth here is that human skills will become less important because of AI. Well, the reality is human skills will become even more valuable. As AI handles administration work, HR professionals will spend more time on employee experience, coaching, communication, decision making, and building organizational culture. Now, these are few things that your AI tool cannot do. So your AI cannot actually work on building relationship with your employees. They cannot help in decision making, in the final decision making, because we know that AI tool is actually just an assistant. So human skills will still be important. Let's talk about empathy, or maybe just having that emotional quotient to understand your employees in the organization. Your AI might not have that. So as HRs, it is very necessary that we keep working on our human skills as well. So I hope that the myths and reality is very clear to everyone. And now I'll be moving ahead. So let's see what an AI tool can do for you. So I would like to repeat, and I would be reiterating this maybe, in almost each and every slide, that your AI tool is actually your assistant, but not your replacement. So an AI tool is supposed to be someone that helps you and not replace you. So you need to think of AI as your productivity partner, where it handles the routine so you can focus on the more human aspects like candidate engagement or employee engagement, trying to resolve conflicts within the organization, thinking about building a better culture for your company. Sorry. So it handles the routine so you can focus on the human. Now, what can AI do? It can help you in your resume screening. It can shortlist candidates based on predefined criteria. It can help you in your HR documentation, where it can draft policies for you, offer letters, emails, and SOPs. But again, reiterating, the final outcome or the outcome that your AI tool gives you is not the final one. It needs to be reviewed and revised by the HR professionals based on your company's policies and all the various other details that your organizations follow. Thirdly, it can help you in HR analytics. It generates reports, dashboards, and insights. Now, what is analytics? It's nothing but just procuring your past information, processing it, and then using it for your future use. So, for example, in case when you become recruiters or you guys are recruiting for a particular position, for example, let's say that you're hiring for a sales associate today. You posted your job on two platforms. One is going to be Naukri and one is going to be LinkedIn. Now both the portals gave you certain responses. For the second time, whenever you try to post for a sales executive role, you would obviously your first preferred source of hire is going to be the one that actually gave you more qualitative results, right? In case if Naukri gave you more better results, more better profiles where you could hire people from, then your preferred source of hire in the upcoming sourcing would be Naukri. If it was LinkedIn, it would be LinkedIn, and if it is both, then you would obviously go for both. The fourth one is learning content. It can create training material and assessments for you. It can also help you in your survey analysis, where you can summarize the employee feedback and analyze your trends. Now we'll move towards what your AI can't replace. So, humans plus AI is actually the future of HR. These skills will only grow in value as AI takes over the routine. Now, let's see what are certain human centric skills and why AI can't replace it. The first and the most important skill that as an HR we need to have is empathy. Now, why AI can't replace it? Because empathy actually requires understanding emotions of your employees and building trust that requires human connection. Let's say that you're spending about 9 hours a day in an organization and you've been working in that company for the last 6 months. So the kind of rapport that you would have built with your employees is obviously going to be very different from what your AI will understand about your employees. Maybe in 6 months, when a person just says hello, or by the way, a person just greets you good morning, you would know that something is maybe not right with this employee because you know how that person actually behaves, the tone, the energy. So empathy is something that AI would not be able to replace in your human centric skill. The second one is employee relations. Resolving conflicts and handling sensitive conversation needs emotional intelligence. Just like empathy, even employee relations is something that AI would not be able to replace. Now, your AI might not know what your team member is going through, but you would be able to. You speak to the person face to face, you try to gauge and analyze their facial expressions, and you know that something might not be right. So, that kind of emotional intelligence and that kind of empathy is something that, again, a human can have, and maybe an AI might not. The third thing is the final decision making power. HR decisions involves ethics, context, and organizational values. Maybe your AI tool might not know what your core values are, maybe what your organization's policies are. That is something that you would be knowing as an HR because you work in that organization. You understand the exact vibe of the company, you exact what is the pulse of your employees. That is something that your AI tool would never understand. So decision making, the final decision making is something that we as HR professionals, as humans need to make. The next skill is basically your leadership and coaching, where you inspire team members, you mentor them, and you develop people into uniquely human. Now, let's understand that if you have at least 100 employees, or maybe even just 50 employees in your organization, these 50 or 100 employees are 50 to 100 different entities. Not all of them are going to be same. And when you eventually spend time with these team members over a period of 6 months or 1 year, you tend to understand that how does each and every individual react to a certain situation. So next time when you have to coach someone or when you have to guide someone, you're going to use a method that is going to be more suitable for that particular person. AI might actually give you a very generic route because they might not know what the person is like, how might he or she react to a certain situation. Someone can be too emotional, someone can be too practical, someone might take few jokes very lightly, but someone might not, someone might actually get offended. So that is something that you will understand, that is your employees over a period of time, which your AI might not be able to do. The next one is culture building, where you create an engaging workplace that requires authentic relationship. As HRs, we are definitely someone who builds the bridge between the management and the employees, the employer and the employees, and they eventually become the maker or the breaker of the culture. So the way we behave or the kind of culture that we try to create in an organization is of utmost importance. So we know how our employees are and we try to build those kind of activities, or we try to bring in the engagement that we know is going to be very suitable for our team members. The next human centric skill is negotiation, wherein discussion involving employees, managers, and stakeholders require judgment. So let's be very clear as HRs, we do not use negotiation only during recruitment or while offering a candidate. We use negotiation while discussing with vendors, we use negotiation while recruitment, we use negotiation while trying to maybe just get a simple leave from our managers in certain cases. We also use negotiation to resolve employee conflicts as well, to come up with a way that will be suitable for both the parties. So, negotiation in HR is not done only in recruitment, it is done in almost all aspects, whether that's your conflict resolution, negotiation with the vendors, etc. And sometimes, even with your business leaders or stakeholders, when you want to implement a plan, you need to explain them as to why do you want to do it. So you tend to come into a stage of negotiation. You might also know your stakeholders well, that what would actually be something that they might like in your entire plan, and you would want to pitch on that. The next skill is change management, where leading people through change needs influence and communication. As HRs, when we become older in the organization, we tend to understand people, and we know that we can influence a certain person in a certain manner. So we are actually the flag bearers of change in the organization. Like just like we are the culture builders, we're also the people who bring in change and we make sure it is positively accepted. So, how to bring in that change, how to kind of implement the entire change process is something that we understand and we implement it based on our team members' thought process and their acceptability. So, this is something again that an HR would be able to do, but not an AI tool. The next skill is strategic HR, where we align people's strategy with the business goals that require business understanding and critical thinking. No one would know your business better than you. And as an HR, business acumen is one of the most important competencies that recruiters also look for. You should have an understanding as to what does your business do? What does your organization do? What is their model? What are the goals of the various departments in the organization? So, as an HR, when you understand all of these aspects, you will be able to make your strategies related to humans in the organization based on the business goals. And hence, strategic HR is very important skill that again cannot be replaced by an AI tool. So, any questions, any doubts that you all might have up till now? Any questions, any doubts, or is everything clear? Can I get a thumbs up if everything's clear? So, can I move ahead? Can I get a thumbs up if we can move ahead? All right, so let's continue. Now, I would also be talking about how AI is transforming our HR roles, and I would also be practically showing you through one or two prompts as well. So, let's move ahead and understand how AI is transforming our HR roles. Initially, let's talk about the first function, which is recruitment. Now, before AI, recruiters used to basically manually source candidates, screen them, screen each and every single resume, coordinate for interviews, and draft the JDs. I remember I used to go through at least 4 to 5 job postings to create one job posting for my organization. But now, with AI will help you to screen your resume, generate job descriptions, schedule interview, and match candidate profiles. Whereas your HR here builds candidate relationship, assess the cultural fit, conducts the interview, and make the hiring decision. So again, here we can see that AI is only assisting us in this task, but not replacing us, because HR is still required here to build that candidate communication and engagement and that relationship. We are the ones who can assess if the candidate is culturally fit into our organization. The basic interviews are something that we would be doing, and the final hiring decision as to which candidate is suitable is something that the HR is going to make. So now I'm going to use ChatGPT, and we're going to create a job description for a customer support executive. So all I'm going to do here is open my tool, open ChatGPT, and here I'm going to give in my prompt. You're a senior HR at a mid-sized Indian IT firm. Write a job description for a customer support executive requiring 3 years of experience. The format should be overview, responsibilities, that is at least 6 points. The skills should be, and you also need the skills here. The tone should be professional and inclusive for a Gen Z people. So let's just hit enter and see the response that a chat GPT gives him. So as you can see, within few seconds, ChatGPT has actually given us the output. So the job description, customer support executive, 3 years experience. We can see, let's run through this. Overview. We are looking for a proactive and customer focused customer support executive with 3 years of experience to join a growing team. In this role, you will be responsible for delivering exceptional customer support service by resolving queries, addressing concerns, and ensuring a seamless customer experience across multiple communication channels. The responsibilities, as we can see, it has given us in 6 points because we had mentioned in our prompt that we need the responsibilities in 6 points. Respond to customer queries via phone, email, chat, and support ticket while ensuring timely and accurate resolution. Investigate customer issues, identify root cause, and provide effective solutions. Collaborate with internal teams such as tech support, product, and operations to resolve customer concerns. Meet defined service metrics such as response time, resolution time, customer satisfaction score, and quality standards. So it has also given the KPIs here that we would have to meet. Now the skills here are bachelor's degree in any discipline, 3 years of experience in customer support, customer service, or a similar client-facing role. Experience working on CRM or help desk tool like Zendesk, Freshdesk, Salesforce Service Cloud, and Zoho Desk. Here, if you want, you can actually make a slight change because not every organization or not all organizations are going to use all of these tools. You can just narrow it down to the tool that your organization is using. So again, see, it just gave us the tools that are available in the market. Now, this is not something that is specific to our organization. And hence, this cannot be the final outcome that we would be posting it on a job portal. So we will have to revise this and make one small tweak and just mention the tool that my organization is using. Now, why join us? We believe great ideas come from diverse perspectives. We welcome applicants from all backgrounds and are committed to building an inclusive workplace. Now, if I scroll down, see, it automatically says here, ChatGPT can make mistakes, check important information. So the tool in itself says that we need to review the output before we actually use it. Now, we've seen how AI can help us in recruitment. So let's move ahead with the next function. The next one is going to be your HR operations. Before AI, HR teams prepared offer letters, maintained employee records, answered all the FAQs, processed documents, and managed the onboarding manually. But today with AI, it can help you to automate your documentation, generate letters, answer routine employee queries, and streamline your onboarding workflow. While AI does all of this, your HR ensures compliance, handles exceptions, improves employee experience, and resolves employee concerns. Now let's do a quick prompt and see if our AI tool can actually draft an offer letter email for a candidate for the same role. So all I'm going to do is go back to my chat GPT. I'm going to give it a prompt. Draft a warm offer letter email for Abhay. Let's say that the candidate is Abhay, joining as customer support executive at 6.5 lakhs per annum. The joining date is going to be 3rd August 26. Reporting to Mihira. Include what to bring on day one. The tone should be welcoming and professional. So let's just hit enter and wait for it. So here again, within seconds, we have the offer of employment ready. Dear Abhay, we are delighted to extend an offer for the position of a customer support executive with our organization. Congratulations and welcome to the team. Based on our discussions, we are pleased to offer you an annual CTC of 6.5 lakhs. Your joining date is 3rd August and you will be reporting to Mihira, who will support you through your onboarding and help you get started in your new role. We are excited about the skills and experience you bring, and we look forward to the contributions you'll make as a part of our team. We believe you'll find plenty of opportunities to learn and grow and build a rewarding career with us. What to bring on day one? Please carry the following documents for a smooth onboarding process: your government issued ID card, PAN card, Aadhaar, passport, educational certificates, recent salary slips, any other documents requested by the HR team. Please report to the office by 9:30 a.m. on your joining day. Our HR team will be there to welcome you and guide you through the onboarding process. If you have any questions before your joining date, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help. Now, again, few tweaks that you can make into this mail is basically, for example, during our offer discussion, we usually ask for certain documents beforehand itself, like, for example, the recent salary slips or the relieving letter of the previous organizations, and maybe just the Aadhaar card as well. So in this case, you can always tweak it and remove the documents that you've already asked your candidate from. Again, reiterating, the output that you get from an AI tool is not the final output. You would have to tweak it as per your requirement. There would have been certain documents that you might have already sought from the candidate. So here you do not want to bother the candidate by asking him or her to get it again. Let's move to the next functions here. The next function is learning and development. Before AI, trainers designed learning content, prepared the presentation, created assessments, and delivered all training manually. But today with AI, you can create the learning content, you can create the quizzes, personalized learning path, and training summaries. Now, what does HR or the learning and development department do here? They facilitate the learning, engaging learning experiences. They coach employees, they measure the effectiveness, and build a learning culture. We are the people who are going to deliver the training or facilitate the entire training. Your AI can actually help you to create the training content. It can help you to create the presentation, like through your Gamma AI. You can also create your presentation through Canva these days. And now you can make more beautiful presentations, and you do not actually have to spend a lot of time into formatting and creating presentations and trying to fetch out the entire content for the training. Everything can be taken care by AI. You would only be majorly focusing on making sure that there's a seamless delivery of the training session. The next function is your human resource business partner. HRBPs collected data manually, prepared reports, analyzed trends, and advised business leaders. But today with AI, your AI can help you to generate dashboards. It will help you to predict your attrition. It identifies workforce trends and provides data insights. Now, what does the HRBP do when your AI helps you? You interpret the insights, you influence the leadership decisions, you develop people strategies, and drive organizational changes. So let's take an example. So you've been seeing or noticing that in the last 3 months, there have been quite a few resignations. Now, when you see that the number of people that, for example, there are about 10 resignations in the last 3 months. Now, when you go and see your documents or the exit interview forms, you see that out of those 10 people, 4 to 5, or let's say 4 of them belong to a particular department, let's say X. Now, when you try to go deep into their exit interview forms, or let's say, you see that the reason that they've mentioned is the same. So there you know that this is your red flag. You can probably put in those exit interview forms into your AI tool, try to analyze, and then actually take a decision that will help you to reduce this attrition in the organization. Now here you can make up decisions as to what needs to be done so that you can retain your current employees and avoid any future resignations from that X department. So your AI can actually help you to analyze your trends as well. And you as an HR can do the final decision making and see what to do to stop that particular trend. Let's move ahead and see the HR skill shift from traditional to future ready. Now, recruiters will look for professionals who combine domain knowledge with AI fluency and business acumen. In today's time, recruiters are not looking for people who only know HR, but they're also looking for people who can actually combine HR and AI and also have a good business acumen. Now, traditional HR skills were Excel and reporting. But what do recruiters look for today? AI prompting and AI productivity. Now, why does this matter? Because you can use AI to automate your tasks, generate insights, and improve efficiency. In case if you're not able to give in proper prompts to your AI tool, the result that you're going to get is not going to be fruitful. So the first thing that you need to learn is how to give right prompts to your AI tool so that you can actually get qualitative results. Now, the problem is not always the result from the AI tool. It is also sometimes a kind of prompt that we're giving. So AI prompting is very necessary. You should learn how to give proper prompts so that you can actually get some good qualitative results. The traditional HR skill was documentation. Now the future HR ready skill is critical thinking. Now, why does it matter? AI can generate a documents. As we just saw previously, AI helped you to draft an onboarding or an offer email as well. So AI has done that. We do not have to again put our minds into it, just little tweaks that we need to do as per our requirement. So AI can create documents, but HR professionals must evaluate, validate, and make informed decisions. Like I told you, we do not need all the documents because there would have been certain documents like your Aadhaar, your relieving letter, your pay slips that we might have already collected from the candidate during the offer negotiation discussion. So here we do not need this. So we should have evaluated the mail and we should have made the decision, okay, that we can remove these 3, 4 documents that we've already collected from the candidate. The next traditional HR skill is policy administration, but your future ready HR skill is business acumen. HR is becoming a strategic business partner rather than just an administrative function. Previously, HR was more of an administrative function where it just did a couple of things. But today, HR is more of a strategic function where it not only just does basic recruitment, but it is also into decision making. It actually has a seat on the leadership table. So you need to have a proper acumen and an understanding of the business so that you can make realistic decisions that would support the business, the organization, and the people in the company. The next traditional HR skill was recruitment execution, but the future ready HR skill is people analytics. Now, why does it matter? Data driven hiring and workforce decisions are becoming essential. So, as I gave you an example previously, that if you were supposed to hire for a sales executive and you were posting it on 2 job boards like job board X and job board Y, and one of the job boards gave you a better quality candidates, the next time you might always want to go back to it, right? And that is nothing but analytics. So you should be in a position to make that kind of decision that, okay, this is where I was getting people from, and this is why I should not be wasting my time on the other tool or the other source and actually focus on the source that gives me the best applicants. The next skill is HR administration, but the future skills are your HR technology like HRMS, ATS, and AI tools. Organizations expect HR professionals to be comfortable with modern HR technologies. One of the again most important competencies that recruiters look for in HRs is digital agility. That is nothing but you being comfortable with various tools and technologies. Like as I told you, previously we used to maintain personal employee files, whether your team size is of 50, 100, 200, or maybe 800. We used to maintain individual employee files. But with HRMS, we started maintaining all of those documents on the tool itself. Then later came ATS, where we were initially screening resumes personally one by one, going through each and every line. We have our ATS that will actually help us to streamline the entire recruitment process. ATS stands for an applicant tracking system. Now, this is going to be your one place repository where you can actually track the entire life cycle of a candidate who's applied for a job opening of yours. At what stage is he or she in? From where did this person apply? At what stage was this person rejected? Why was he or she rejected? To actually even rolling out the offer letter, you can do everything on this ATS. So it is helping you to streamline the entire recruitment process. You no more have to read each and every single line of the CV. It will help you to filter out the CVs as well based on your requirement. The next one is communication, but the future skill is storytelling with data. HR professionals must present insights and influence stakeholders through compelling narratives. Now, whether you are in training and development or whether you're in just HR or whether you're an HR generalist, one thing that you guys should be, really good at is storytelling. You just cannot say, okay, this is the data that I'm showing. Okay, salespeople have, maybe the salespeople have achieved this much of target. You're supposed to have a proper dashboard and tell them that these were the efforts that they had put in and this has resulted in maybe 100% target achievement, or maybe they've gone beyond their 100%. So you should be good at storytelling as well, using your data and not just presenting your data blankly. The next skill is employee support, and the future skill is consulting and stakeholder management. HR is expected to advise managers and solve business challenges, not just execute processes. As I mentioned previously, HR was previously an administrative function, but today it is a strategic function. We no more just create policies, manage attendance, maintain discipline in the organization, but we also try to understand what is the actual problem in the organization and try to solve it, give suggestions to the leadership, to the management, to the stakeholders so that we can minimize that problem. Today, HR holds a seat on the leadership table and it is more of a strategic function. HR is no more an administrative function like it was a couple of years back. The final one is task execution. Now, but the future HR skill is decision making. As AI provides recommendations, HR professionals must make ethical, strategic, and people centric decisions. Previously, we were executing only tasks, but now we have AI that will help you to do a lot of tasks, repetitive tasks like documentation, creating job descriptions, coming up with engagement strategies, everything. But the final decision making still lies within the HR's hands. While AI is going to help you, provide you recommendations, assist you, become like your intern, but the final decision making is supposed to be in human hands. Now, the decision that we need to make needs to be ethical. It needs to be in alignment with what our organization's goal is. And it should, to some extent, to a lot of extent rather, it should also be something that will help our people in the organization, that will motivate them, and it should also be in their benefit. So it should be a very balanced decision that the HR should be making. So any questions, any doubts up till now? No questions? Can I move ahead? Okay. So now, in today's time, you just don't have to become an HR professional, but then you have to become an HR professional that is powered by AI. In today's time, we don't just say that I know HR, but we also have to become someone who can build HR dashboards, who can analyze the employee feedback, who can draft HR policies with AI, who can conduct AI assisted interviews, create the learning journeys, and improve the employee experience. Now, as I again, we read this previously, we've heard this previously. AI is your assistant. It is not someone who's going to replace you. So you should be in the position to use AI very wisely that will help you to ease out your task. Now, but as HR professionals, you should also be someone who can actually analyze employee feedback or try to make decisions. Now, let's talk about analyzing employee feedback. Many organizations do employee satisfaction surveys. These surveys are usually anonymous. So these satisfaction surveys are very holistic. They cover everything, right from their work-life balance to culture to the structure of the organization, the team leader, the team development, etc. Everything, the culture, the pay, the training and development opportunities, the infrastructure. So once your employees fill up these satisfaction surveys, you should be in a position where you're also able to analyze this feedback. In case if your AI is analyzing the feedback, you should be able to interpret the data properly as well so that you can make more better decisions to make sure that in the next quarter your employee satisfaction score goes up. While your AI tool can actually help you to process your data and make dashboards, you should be able to present it and explain it properly. Now, while you use AI for making your dashboards, it is very important that you take care that you do not upload any sensitive or confidential data into your AI tool. You will never ever upload or put in or deliver or prompt or give it even in your prompt any kind of sensitive or confidential data into an AI tool. You will never ever do that to just create a good dashboard. Few dashboards can be created by you as well. You should be good at it, but you will never do it at the cost of feeding your AI tool some confidential data into it. Shaurya, do you want me to repeat again? Next, you should also be in a position to draft your HR policies with AI. Your AI can help you give a good structure. It can help you to give you all the guidelines, etc. But then the basic nitty-gritties or the certain very, very niche things that you know about the organization is something that you will be able to put into it. So not every time that your output that the AI tool is giving you is going to be the final one. So you should be able to create policies with AI, but also giving in your certain input to it. Then you should also be in a position to create learning journeys again, wherein as train into being into the training and development. If you're a trainer, if you're into the learning and development department, you should be able to use AI wisely, where it can help you to create the training content. But also, while your AI tool gives you the presentation and you probably download it, the formatting can go here and there. In such cases, you should be able to be in a position where you can do the entire formatting clearly. So, Shaurya, recruitment is basically where you hire a candidate into the organization. For example, in case if there's an opening for a customer support associate in your organization, you start looking for people who can match that requirement. जैसे अभी हमने एक job description create किया था शौर्य using chat GPT. So we make sure that we hire someone who fits into those roles and responsibilities. That is recruitment. It is the process where you identify a candidate, you attract them to join the organization, and then you finally select them for an open position in your organization. There's an open position in your company, for example, for a sales associate, for a customer support associate, for a finance manager, or maybe an HR manager. You have an open position. For that open position, you bring in a suitable candidate who is going to fill up that role. That is recruitment. So let's move and to conclude, reiterating it again and again, AI is not going to replace HR, but AI is only here to replace your repetitive HR tasks. But the professionals, the HR professionals who will succeed are those who can combine human skills, your HR knowledge, and AI together. Again, guys, human resource, the word human resource has human in it, and the word artificial intelligence, AI, has artificial in it. So AI cannot replace human resource, but it can only help us in making our tasks more better and easy. So any questions? Any questions? You guys can put it in the chat box and we can discuss that. Yes, it is fixed for that particular position, Dhapi. Like, for example, if you are someone who is a fresher into HR and there's an opening for an HR fresher or a recruitment executive, and if you apply for it, then you can be a suitable candidate for the position and you would be a recruited candidate there. In simple terms, let's say hiring to bring in a person who will fill that position. Any questions, any doubts? Any questions, any doubts? Sure, human skills is basically what we have. Just say empathy, like we have decision making skills, we have communication skills. That is basically human skills that we as humans have. Great, Prashant. So, what would the question be in case if you're looking for a finance profile job? So every role comes with its own benefits of AI, Tanya. Like in our case, a lot of things, a lot of documentation work, a lot of content creation work is something that AI can do for us. Shaurya, in any kind of role, communication is the basic key element. I think you can work on it you can work on it gradually for yourself by, probably maybe taking some classes that will help you out. All right, so I think that's my time. Thank you so much, everyone. And we can wrap up the session here. No, Rachit, there would be no certificate for this. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening. Take care. All the best.